Okay, and the game about to throw in here, Wexford Park, Castletown, St Martin's, Collie Malloy, and Big Joe Coleman in the middle of the field. But Joe wins a free straight away. Run through the teams quickly. Castletown unchanged as per the programme. Dara Murphy in goal. Full back line of Mark Halpin, Conor Cleary and Daniel Roach. Half back line Evan Mullen, George Sunderland and Cathal Byrne. And midfield we have Frankie Kavanagh and Collie Malloy. The first shot of the game there taken and goes wide. Half forward line Chris Callan and James Holmes, Sean Oak Stafford. And we have a full forward line of Keane Byrne, Stephen O'Rafferty and Colin Morris. Dara Murphy taking his time to set up the kick out here. Murphy putting the ball down, takes a couple of steps back. Big long strike to Colin Morris is fielded there by the St Martin's man, Mark Maloney. Quick run through the St Martin's team. Ian Waters in goal, Mark Maloney, Paddy Kelly and Ruben Lafferty. Connor Keane, Dahi Hayes and John Dwyer at the half back line. James Hegarty and Big Joe Coleman middle of the field. Half forward line then is Kevin Prince, Joe Coleman, John Coleman, and Oisin Kavanagh. And then one change in the full forward line. Kieran Ling is replaced by Richie Devricks. Dara Waters and Micheál Ling complete the full forward line. So the ball is over the far side there now. It's St Martin's little pop into the corner. Micheál Ling on the ball, pops it back out around the arc. Mark Maloney looking up, surveying the pitch. A great stalwart for football teams in St Martin's. Mark Maloney was for a long time. Heavy strapping on his knee there at the moment. Coleman on the ball. Castletown set up well in defence and won back by Collie Malloy. Many thought he was finished last year, but he's back again. He's been training as hard as anyone, is still going. Frankie Kavanagh moving up the pitch, brings legs to the middle of the field, looks up, beats the man, still has a Conor Cleary in a rampage up, tackled hard, ball spilled but picked up eventually. No, Cathal Byrne, the man known as Screech against Mark Maloney, goes down the ball, no free given. The ultras below us looking for a free. One back again by Chris Callanan. Chris into Andrew Byrne around the 65. George Sunderland on the ball, steady as ever, looks for a show and go, gives a show and go and beats Joe Coleman. Collie Malloy in open space on the top of the arc. He steadies up, takes one step and puts it wide. So a real test now for the St Martin's goalkeeper against the wind. He's taking his time, he's in no rush with this kick out. Why would you be against the wind in Wexford Park? So one wide apiece here. 3 minutes gone. No score as of yet. Kick out put up in the air, high ball, won by Joe Coleman. Joe takes his free, kick flicked on there by Ryan Murphy. Put into the corner here now again and steadied up, and the first score of the game goes to St Martin's. The first score kicked by Richie Devricks. Dara Murphy again, points where the kick out's going, puts it to the opposite side, little trick there maybe. One on the break by St Martin's again, John Dwyer on the ball, Joe Coleman on the ball in the middle of the field. Joe has lots of experience, senior and intermediate football with the Martins. Great tackle, big hit by Frankie Kavanagh there, middle of the field. Colin Morris wins the, pokes the ball free, picked up by James Holmes, looks for space to open up the legs and really take on players. Put inside, Stephen O'Rafferty wins the ball well in space on that stand side, given again to James Holmes, looks up, looks for a pass, wants to work it away from that stand into the open side. Frankie Kavanagh goes back down, James Holmes looks to steady up, kicks with the left and it's going to drop dangerously, drops dangerously, goalkeeper wins the ball and works it out again. Paddy Kelly on the ball here now. Bear Hayes, manager of the intermediate football and senior hurling county champion last week. I think he's been drinking water all week in preparation for this match. Pull over to the open side again. Cian Byrne chasing down hard for James Hegarty. Comes back into Ruben Lafferty there. And popped in middle of the field, Mark Maloney. Named as number 2 but roving around the pitch. St. Martin's in no real rush here to work forward. Takes on 2 Castletown men, beats 2 Castletown men. Back on to Richie Devericks, beats Conor Cleary. And another score for Richie Devericks. That's 2 points from play for Richie Devericks today. Got in a little bit too easy there for the likings of some. Darren Murphy lining up to kick out. He's telling someone to drop. And put long up on Collie Malloy again. Can Castletown win the break? They can just about. Collie Malloy wins the break, driving hard and driving forward as hard as he can. Collie Malloy steadies up now just outside the arc on the stand side. Chris Callan on the ball, pops out to James Holmes, taking his time surveying the pitch. Evan Mullihan on the ball again. Solos in place, comes to George now. George getting ready to do his customary show and go. Beats Joe Coleman. Lines up a shot, but it's a poor shot from George. Aiming for the small goals to the side of the goal rather than the big one there. And St. Martin's again coming out with the kick out. A short one potentially on. Short and he's inside. It's a free. Frankie Kavanagh needs to get the ball off him. No tap and go. It's a free in. Castletown with a chance to get their first point on the board here now. James Holmes going to step up to take the free, it looks like. James Holmes lining up this free here now. Breeze behind him. Shooting into the town end. Steadies up. Swings a boot and it goes to the left and wide. Disappointed with himself on that one. He usually expected to put those over. Castletown management, Mick Kavanagh and Paul Basburn, not too worried on the sideline yet. Coming up to 9 minutes gone. Big high searching ball in the air. Joel Coleman wrestles and throws a Hulk Hogan forearm smash into Cathal Byrne and puts him out of the way, but it's won by Castletown on the break. Frankie Kavanagh on the ball, he's looking up. Can't see a pass, he beats him now. Collie show and go. Frankie bringing real legs to the team in the middle of the field. Open season if you can get by them 2 men. Pops to James Holmes. James Holmes is in. Chance of a score here. And fists a point there to put Castletown their first score on the board of the day. So a point for James Holmes. Following the old Timmy Walsh advice, fist it over and kill him slowly. St. Martin's goalkeeper in no rush to put the ball on the tee.
Thanks a million, buddy.
Dennis delighted with the half-time tea and sandwiches coming early.
Thank you very much.
Put up in the air, high there, and won by Collie Malloy again on the break. And popped up now, and it looks to be Evan Mullihan on the ball, and he beats the man. Can he beat the centre back? He beats him. Chance of a goal here. A goal! Goal for Castletown. A driving run from Evan Mullihan down the stand side. He bet 3 or 4 St. Martin's men and stuck it into the corner. A great goal for Castletown, well worked, and it all comes from Collie Malloy there, who won that breaking ball. Robbie Brooks heard us down below in the stand and he liked that one there. Great to see Robbie here. Mick Kavanagh getting very excited on the far sideline. No need to get excited, Mick. There's 50 minutes to go still. We're 2 points up. Big high ball in the air again. Won by Joe Coleman cleanly, and he kicks forward in Colin Cleary in a race for the ball. The St. Martin man puts the handbrake on very early. Connor drives out with the ball. Surgeon run up the middle of the field. He's away, and again there's been a late hit. It seems to have been missed. A late hit on the Castletown man. Looks to be Joe Coleman, Dennis, is it? 100%. Joe Coleman there. It looks like the referee James Murray from St. Mary's Magdalen Town having strong words with Joe. Joe was saying to me before, he was vexed before the game. It's a yellow card for Joe. Yellow card. He's on thin ice now. Free taken quickly. Frankie Kavanagh on the ball. Mark Halpin makes a surging run forward. They need to be careful not to get caught. Screech tells them to hold. We have the tree back. There's a breach of tree for St. Martin's, but not being called. He wasn't interfering with play. Ball kicked away there. Gathered up by the St. Martin's man. And working their way out through the hands this time against the breeze. Bear Hayes threw the boot this time, a 50-50 ball, but won well by St. Martin's man. James Hegarty, great tackling there from Frankie Kavanagh. Conor Keane on the ball there. St. Martin's very deliberate in their build-up play. We see Paddy Kelly on the ball now. Bit of space. Pop to Dara Waters. Doesn't come off, but it's won there by Oisin Kavanagh. And pop loose, and Conor Cleary comes out with the ball very careful not to be done with steps there, but gets away with it. James Holmes loads the space in the middle of the field. Frankie Kavanagh to his left runs hard. James Holmes takes on the two and runs at Joe Coleman to try and force a free. Joe knocks the ball out of his hands, gives it to him. Collie Malloy on the ball, wants a score, beats one man, takes the shot, and a point from Collie Malloy, the man they said who was finished last year. He's came back and defied it all. Kicked 2 points in the county final last year. He's kicked 1 this year. It's hard to kill a bad thing, Dennis. We told Collie to stop training, but he just kept coming back. He loves it that much. He's got himself very fit. He's probably the fittest man out on the pitch there this year. Paul Garrigan's 100-metre runs have Dennis have him absolutely flying. St. Martin's kick out again. Bit of a miss hit. Sean Oak Stafford attacks it. St. Martin's win the break. Bear Hayes dives on the ball. Colin Morris jumps in, leaves a little bit on him, and he's blown up for steps. A Castletown free for steps. Colin Morris, a veteran of Wexford football. He steadies up. Might have hurt himself there going in on the Bear Hayes. Bear Hayes is being brought in for a word with the referee. Being warned now to stay quiet by the referee. James Holmes on the ball, decides to go backwards. Stephen Rafferty comes out, and George Sunderland now the heartbeat of the team. Castletown trying not to breach the ball, very careful not to be done for steps there. Cathal Byrne takes it off him, gets him out of trouble, and beats his man there. Surgeon run through the middle. He's beaten the man. He has a chance of a score here. Can he get around him again? A free in. A well won free by Cathal Byrne. He's seen open country to run into, and he just done it. It's a simple game when you keep it simple. No need to complicate it. And Castletown now another free. James Holmes taking his time going up to take this free inside the small arc, so it'll be a 1 point effort. Free from James Holmes and it goes over the bar. St. Martin's again very deliberate in taking their time and setting up for this kick out. Larry Coleman, owner of the Coal Bunker on the far side there, giving out instructions. Kick out this time. Good kick against the breeze, but it's up on Collie Malloy. It's real case of who's going to win that midfield battle, could win the game. It's broken by Collie Malloy, picked up by Stephen Rafferty. Frankie Kavanagh coming down the open side here, looks up, goes to take on the man but loses the ball. Ball spilled to the ground. Mark Halpin making a run, but recycled back out here. Comes to Cathal Byrne. Cathal Byrne sees space in front of him again and pops to Mark Halpin, but goal intercepted by Mark Maloney. Poor pass there from Cathal. And St. Martin's again begin their very deliberate build-up against the breeze. Joe Coleman, real show and go there, does well to get around Frankie. Takes two men to stop Joe. He's called back there. I think it'd be a very harsh free to give it, or a very harsh card here for Collie Malloy to get one. Yellow card for Collie Malloy there, so that's the two men in the middle of the field, Collie and Joe, on yellow cards. So it's going to depend now. That midfield battle is going to be absolutely crucial. Bear Hayes on the ball there now, and kick to the far side, and this time it's gathered up, and Evan Woollahan looks to drive forward this time. Loads of space to kick inside to Cian Byrne and Colin Morris, but Sean Oak Stafford takes on the Bear Hayes. Wrapped around, potentially free there, but not given. James Murray letting the game flow. Frankie Kavanagh now is away. Bear Hayes can't catch him. It's like he's running in treacle. He's gave up. Colin Morris. And a goal for Colin Morris. Must be the first goal he's ever scored in his career. He's never that far up the pitch. But a great goal for Colin Morris. That puts Castletown on a score at 2-3 to 2 points. We've 17 and a half minutes gone. A great run there from Frankie Kavanagh. He really just put the speed on and got away from the Bear Hayes, not able to keep up with the speed of Frankie. So 9 points to 2. Castletown playing with a strong breeze here. We've about 12 minutes plus injury time to go in this first half. Kicked out there by St. Martin's goalie Ian Waters on top of Chris Callan, gathered up by Mark Halpin. Mark Halpin's away now. Passes to Collie Malloy. Collie settles up and it's on to the man Daniel Roach, the man back from travelling. It's given to Sean Oak Stafford. Another goal! Another goal for Castletown. All started again from the kick-out win. 3-3 to 2 points. A flurry of goals here. A quick 1-2. The breeze is only getting stronger here as the day goes on, it looks like, as well. We've no expert weathermen like Anthony Masterton or Liam Coleman to guide us right today, but we're told, Dennis, any update on the weather, Dennis?
Rain between the showers.
Rain between the showers. Brought live there from Wexford Weather from Dennis Fitz. Kick out from Ian Waters again. Put up high in the air on top of Joe Coleman. Himself and Collie Malloy wrestling, but it's won that time by the St. Martin's man. He goes to take a solo and go, but you can't do that. He was obviously given a free. Didn't realise he was given the free. George Sunderland playing under the old rules, thinking it is a throw ball, but it's not. Played short. Paddy Kelly on the ball this time. Mick Kavanagh encouraging players to keep working. And Richard Deverick's tackled there. Conor Cleary, a bit of a schmozzle on the far line. St. Martin's come out with it. Joe Coleman burst through the tackle of Sean Oak Stafford. He's a big man, he's a big boot. Charging again potentially, but beats 3 men. A great block there, but a free in eventually. A free in there won by Joe Coleman. He's a big man, hard to stop when he gets going. He's the main free taker here on this team as well. Joe puts the ball down just inside the small D. 20 minutes gone, 3-3 to 2 points to Castletown. Joe strikes the ball and strikes it wide. So Dara Murphy coming down, puts the ball on the 21. Colin Morris, a short kick out there by Dara Murphy and intercepted by Dara Waters. Didn't get away with it, but tackled hard by Frankie Kavanagh and Chris Callan. Colin Morris steps out to double up on Kevin Price, and Kevin gets ahead of the ball there. And we see now Richie Devericks on the ball. Poke free, comes to the St. Martin's man. Big Joe is on it. He only need to ask him twice to shoot. Joe takes a shot and Joe puts it wide. Second wide of the day for Joel Coleman. A moment or a lapse of judgment there from Dara Murphy, the veteran goalkeeper. Dara telling Mark, get into the corner and get out of the way. And he gives it to Mark this time. And it's worked up the line there now. Cathal Byrne, the man known as Screech, on the ball. Given to Conor Cleary. Conor Cleary takes on 2 St. Martin's men and gets back to Cathal Byrne and gets away. Chris Callan now in the middle of the field. St. Martin's men closing in around him, coming hard. Castletown in control of the game here at the minute. Don't need to do anything silly there like that, and something silly done. Ball given away. Mark Maloney on the ball. And a big run forward by Oisin Kavanagh. Oisin Kavanagh looks to take on Colin Morris and Evan Mullihan. Colin Morris, expert at defending, holds him up and goes back out to Mark Maloney. Mark Maloney closed down by Colin Malloy. Collie is to be careful, he's on a yellow card. And here is Ryan Murphy now. Ryan Murphy on the ball, back to James Hegarty. James Hegarty takes a shot. It's not gone wide, it's high. Bit of a Gary on there, and it's gathered up by Colin Morris. And popped out to Collie Malloy there by Evan Mullihan. Evan to Collie. Collie to George. George to Daniel Roach. And given now to Chris Callan, who pops to James Holmes. James looking for a chance to get the legs moving. Has the speed and power to beat anyone. Given to Daniel Roach, a heavy tackle there. He's on his own. No advantage given by the referee. Any bit of pace that was in the game has gone over here now. Both teams coming up to half time, gathering themselves maybe and getting ready for a final burst in the last couple of minutes here of the first half. Bear Hayes in the ball. St. Martin's coming out very deliberate and slow, very patient in their build up, in no rush. Paddy Kelly, feature of this game today is Paddy Kelly driving forward from that full back line every chance he gets. St. Martin's on the attack there now, middle of the field, on the 45. And again, they're recycling it, and Big Joe's on the ball. Joe's going to go through the boot and kicks to Mark Halpin, who intercepts the ball. Mark gets up and drives forward. Sean Oak Stafford gets it now. Looks inside for Colin Morris, but gives to Frankie Kavanagh. Frankie gives it to George Sunderland. George with a little show and go as well. He's nearly 50 and no one has copped on to that trick yet, and we don't know how. Cathal Byrne goes to solo, leaves the ball behind him but brings it with him. Picks, falls and handles the ball on the ground there. Don't know what happened there. He got a bit excited maybe. Dara Waters here now. Looks to take on Daniel Roach. Bear Hayes. Kicked in there and won by Evan Mullihan, the first goal scorer of the match. Stephen O'Rafferty takes on 2 St. Martin's men, comes out the better of it, but hand passes the ball out over the line. He was looking for Collie Malloy. The substitution here now on the St. Martin's team. So Paddy Kelly coming off, he must have picked up a knock, and number 21 Jack Roach enters the field to play. So that's a loss for St. Martin's. Paddy was moving well. St. Martin's on the ball here now, in around the top of the arc. Dara Waters kicks inside to Michal Ling. Michal back out. Bit of soccer here from St. Martin's. They keep the ball there now. John Dwyer looks up. Joe Coleman puts the shoulder down, looks to beat a man, and the man now that comes into the game with an instant impact is Jack Roach, who kicks his first point of the game. So that leaves us at 3 points to St. Martin's and 3-3 to Castletown, so 3 points to 12. We're coming up to 26 minutes gone here now. Both teams will be hoping there won't be too much added time. I'd say they want to just get into the dressing room for a cup of tea and a banana, get themselves set. Dara Murphy flicks the hand, brushes the hair, what's left of it, puts a big long ball out on top of Sean Oak Stafford. But St. Martin's come away with the breaks here now. Bear Hayes picks up the ball and hand pass inside. St. Martin's working the ball down this the stand side with Kevin Price. There's a heavy strapping on that hamstring as well. Ryan Murphy creeping down the far side and coming back out. Very, very deliberate from St. Martin's in their play here today. Very slow, patient build up. Big Joe gets the ball and another score for Big Joe, another score for St. Martin's. So that's 4 points to 12. 2 in a row for St. Martin's there, from second one coming from Joe Coleman. A short kick out this time to Daniel Roach. St. Martin's dropping off a little bit here. Castletown just trying to take the sting out of things here at the minute. George Sunderland on the ball. Collie Malloy calls for it. George takes his time. Won't rush George. Operates on his own time zone. Evan Mullihan now on the ball. Collie Malloy's in acres of space in the middle of the field, but Evan says sod that and beats the St. Martin's man and loses the ball, but picked up by Colin Morris. Nice little flick to James Holmes. There's an injury to a St. Martin's man. Looks to be a clash of heads, but play goes on. James Holmes takes the ball down on the far side, beats the St. Martin's man. Looks for Stephen Rafferty on the loop, but says no, goes ahead. Conor Cleary on the ball now, creeps inside the arc, looks to steady up to kick a point. Conor kicks it high. It's a dangerous dropping ball and it drops wide. Another change on the St. Martin's team here. This time Dahi Hayes being replaced, and we see Owen Dodd coming into the play. So that's 2 subs for St. Martin's. Mick Kavanagh rallying the troops there now, hoping for half time to come just to circle the wagons and reassess as well. Ian Waters taking his time on the kick out. Kicks into a stiff breeze, but a missed kick. St. Martin's come out the better of it with the ball there. John Dwyer wins it. And coming up that far side again. Some fresh legs in the St. Martin's team here now. Look to be making a bit of a difference. Ball put out to the open side here to John Dwyer. Comes inside to Mark Maloney. Mark Maloney looks up and looks to kick into Michal Ling. Michal wings the ball, swings a right boot at it, and Dara Murphy drops short and gathered by Dara Murphy. Comes out into the corner, Mark Halpin, he looks up, comes back inside. Cahill Byrne, Cahill goes and gives to Chris Callanan, gets it back, gives it to Frankie Kavanagh. Frankie looks to go up the line, a bit of rides a strong tackle there and takes another tackle. We've 1 minute of additional time here now. Conor Cleary comes down, looks to take on Joe, beats Big Joe. Big Joe had to pull out of that one fairly quick. Could have been a second yellow. James Holmes steadies up. George Sunderland now drives through the middle, looks for Frankie Kavanagh. Frankie takes on 2 St. Martin's men, but pulls up and goes back around. Potentially blown for steps. St. Martin's called for steps. The referee not giving it. Work to James Holmes. Takes on 2 St. Martin's men, looks to swing a left boot at, but doesn't get the chance. He's looking for Daniel Roach now. Daniel Roach, one-on-one. If he beats the man, he could be potentially in on goal. Looks to take on Kevin Price. Kevin Price wraps him up. St. Martin's look to come out with the ball here now. St. Martin's coming out with the ball. Jack Roach on the ball this time. We see now John Dwyer coming up the line. Mark Maloney on the ball here inside the 21, looks to kick to the free man, which is Ryan Murphy. Ryan Murphy potentially takes a bit much over, but no referee waves play on. Owen Dodd on the ball. And St. Martin's now looking for the last score before half time, coming up through the middle here. If he beats Conor Cleary, he could be one-on-one on goal with Dara Murphy. Micheál Ling on the ball. Joe Coleman will swing a boot at it. Joe swings and it drops wide again. That's the third wide there. The big one to watch out for in the second half will be Joe Coleman's love of a two-pointer. Any chance he get, he'll swing that boot at. And he definitely won't be shy about shooting. So we've 31 minutes played here now. Injury time is up. The referee is surveying the pitch here. Dara Murphy comes out to the 21. He's going to allow the kick out to be taken, and I presume the whistle will be blown then. It's kicked short and the whistle goes. So half time here in Wexford Park. St. Martin's 4 points, Castletown 3-3. A big crowd here in Wexford Park today, which is great to see. We have the intermediate final on afterwards, but down below us we have the Castletown Ultras just there, all getting ready for tomorrow. Great to see them all. Conor Carty, Donica Holmes, Joe Ahern looks great, and Gavin Stamp, whose big day is next Friday. Claire has finally decided that enough is enough, Gavin, and it's time to get married. So best luck to the two of them next week. Myself and Dennis are going for a half-time cup of tea and a banana, and we'll see us all there shortly for the second half. Welcome back here. A short half-time break. Both sides obviously full of athletes in the prime of their lives here. Don't need too long. They just want to get out and get on with the game. True Gales. We have a couple of changes at half-time. Jimmy Fogarty looks to be in for Collie Malloy. No, Collie's gone inside. Collie has gone into the full forward line. Jimmy has gone to midfield. We see Anthony Masterson warming up there, getting ready to go. Hard to miss him. The referee comes out here now. Jimmy's definitely on Joe to try and draw a yellow card. Yeah, Anthony's coming in. Make sure you can see Anthony there, Dennis. Slowly taking his time coming into the game. He's gone into the full forward line. It looks to be one of the Burns has gone off. Have we our list there? Yeah, Keane Byrne has gone off and Anthony Masterson gone in corner forward. We'll find out the other change in a minute. But Jimmy Fogarty, the Iron Man, he probably ran down to the match to play today. The ball sent in straight away to St. Martin's. Darragh Waters looks on it. Richie kicks a ball and Richie puts it wide. So the Castletown team again, Dara Murphy in the goal, Mark Halpin, Conor Cleary, Daniel Roach, Colin Morris is there somewhere. Not sure what position he's taken up, but we have George Sunderland, Evan Mullihan and Cathal Byrne, Jimmy Fogarty and Frankie Cavan in the middle of the field, Sean Ong Stafford, Chris Callanan and James Holmes, the half forward line. Ball put out and won by Colin Morris there on the break. Colin looks to kick into Collie Malloy, but it's not on. Recycles back to Frankie Kavanagh. Frankie gives the ball into Chris. Gets it back, gives it back to Chris. And Cathal Byrne now on the ball. He looks up, looks to beat St. Martin's man, but turns back around. Gives to Chris Callan and James Holmes gets on the ball. Jimmy Fogarty calling for the ball and gets on the ball here now. Gives it back to Evan Mullihan, the first man to score the goal. Evan takes a shot and it goes wide. Not to be second time lucky for Evan. Ball goes well wide. Stephen Rafferty seems to be the other change gone off on the Castletown team. Anthony Masterson, top of the arc there. St. Martin's goalkeeper. Let's see what his kick out is like this time. Kicks big long kick high in the air, floating ball on top of Joe Coleman, broken by Jimmy, and one on the break there by Kevin Price. St. Martin's now have found a gap in the heart of the Castletown defence. They drive forward. Richard Devericks kicks and blocked by Conor Cleary. Frankie Kavanagh wins the second ball and Castletown look to go on the attack again. 4 points to 3-3 here. Been a while since Castletown scored. They could do with a score. Conor Cleary drives up through the heart of the St. Martin's defence, takes on James Hegarty and beats him. Goes out wide to Sean Og Stafford. Sean Og comes inside, goes back to Conor Cleary. Frankie Kavanagh runs inside. He's there, free. James Holmes gets the ball, leaves it behind him, and it comes out with St. Martin's. Seems to be a problem with all the Castletown play today, is that the ball continuously dropped going into the tackle. Jack Roach drives forward for St. Martin's. Oisin Kavanagh now comes down on the stand side, back into the middle of the goal, inside the arc, swings a boot at it, and it goes well wide. So Dara Murphy, cap on this time. Looks short. Mark Halpin doesn't want to give it. Surveys his options. He has a lump and he sees Jimmy Fogarty on the run. Goes to Jimmy and Colley. And Colley Malloy claims the ball. So Colley goes to George to Conor Cleary. Conor Cleary looks to drive forward to Jimmy Fogarty. Jimmy keeps it simple, give and go. Jimmy's motto. Conor Cleary drives up again the middle. He's Colley Malloy to his left. Past the Colley's Conor's taken out of it. Colley is taken out of it. Cathal Byrne takes a shot and it drops short into the goalkeeper's hands. And St. Martin's look to work the ball out there. Colley Malloy looking for a free but not getting one. Has little word in the referee's ear as he goes past. St. Martin's now moved down the pitch. Castletown slow to get back. Kicked inside to Micheál Ling. Micheál Ling tackled at the back from Chris Callanan. Spills the ball. Cathal Byrne goes down. Doesn't win the ball, but what comes out with it is Colin Morris. Couple of schmozzles here. The referee not keen to blow the whistle, wants to let the game flow. Evan Mullihan wins the ball. Colin Morris and Micheál Ling are both down. Evan Mullihan is away, is the shout from the ultras below. Frankie Kavanagh now pulled back there but has advantage. The referee still plays advantage. Goes to Cathal Byrne. Advantage is now over. James Holmes on the ball. It's a serious injury for the St. Martin's man to our left here. The physio's in, he's not doing a whole lot of moving. Sean Og Stafford on the ball. Chris Callanan now as well. They're keeping the ball. Jimmy Fogarty pops to James Holmes. Jimmy is being pulled out of, looks for a free and doesn't get it. Goes to Colley Malloy. Colley wants another score. Passes unselfishly to Jimmy Fogarty. Jimmy has a kick at it and wins a free. Free for Jimmy Fogarty. He knew the advantage was coming, so he just said he'd kick it whatever way suited. So change now for St. Martin's. Barry Lambert looks to be coming on. Yeah, Barry Lambert is in and Micheál Ling, captain, is going off. It's James Holmes lining up to take the free. We're coming up to 6 minutes gone out of the second half. It's 3-3 to Castletown, 4 points to St. Martin's. This would be the opening score, the first of the second half here now. James Holmes looks to kick off his left. One of those rare ambidextrous players, but doesn't work from this time and he puts the ball wide. Don't know what he was thinking there. Another sub for St. Martin's. Dara Waters is in for, or Dara Waters is off, and it looks to be Rory Quigley. Yeah, Rory Quigley's in. And Richard Devericks is off as well. And John Coleman is coming in for St. Martin's. I think that's all the St. Martin's changes made now, Dennis. Are we right in saying that's 4 or 5 they've made? So St. Martin's now, they've emptied the bench, they've played their cards. They're going to hope the men on the pitch can finish the job. They might have one sub left. St. Martin's with the kick out. comes to the open side here on top of Collie Malloy. Broken by Jimmy. Won by Collie Malloy on the break. Joe Coleman upends Jimmy Fogarty. The referee looks at it and does nothing. Joe determined to win the ball back and wins it back for St. Martin's. The referee's trying to keep 15 against 15 on the pitch here. Jimmy Fogarty not happy. He's having a word with the referee. The referee tells him to stop. St. Martin attempt a 2-pointer. Dara Murphy comes out and punches the ball away. Sean Og Stafford in a race against the ball loses out to St. Martin's man. St. Martin's player on the loop, and this time we have James Hegarty comes out to the number 12, Oisin Kavanagh, goes back inside. Kevin Price on the ball just inside the arc. He takes a swing at it and it goes over the bar. So the opening point of the second half after 7 minutes goes to St. Martin's. We have St. Martin's 5 points, Castletown 3-3. Castletown haven't scored since the midway through the first half, and they're in dire need of a score there. Just any score on the board at all to get things ticking again would be great. So short kick out this time to Daniel Roach. Daniel comes inside to George Sunderland. George looks up, solos, bounces. Cathal Byrne beats Barry Lambert. Oh, spill there. Slip from Conor Cleary. Colin Morris back to steady the ship. Jimmy Fogarty pulled and dragged but gets the ball away to Cathal Byrne. Castletown under pressure trying to play the ball out. Comes back to Jimmy Fogarty. They need Collie Malloy's legs here to get them going. Jimmy rides the tackle. He has advantage there. That's 2 frees won by Jimmy. Jimmy hands the ball to Colin Morris. Colin's not interested in soloing and going. Frankie goes to run him and Frankie beats him. Beats him once, beats him twice. Comes to Chris Callanan now. There's loads of space inside in front of the goal if they can get a body in there. Colin Morris looks to drive through the heart of the defence. Comes out to Collie Malloy. Collie slows things down. He looks up. St. Martin's are back in their defensive shape. Chris Callanan comes back to Collie. Jimmy Fogarty makes a run inside. Drags Joe Coleman out of the way. Chris Callanan on the ball. Castletown in no rush to go forward. St. Martin's have to come get the ball off them. And St. Martin's do get the ball off, and Barry Lambert wins the ball back. Barry looks to kick down now. It's a 4-on-3. It's a race to the ball. Conor Cleary gets a hand in. Can Mark Halpin or Cathal Byrne gather up? They can. Comes to George Sunderland. Cathal comes up. Goes to Collie Malloy. He's taken out of it. Absolutely taken out of it that time. An atrocious tackle. An atrocious tackle there from Barry Lambert. The referee's let too much go so far, in my opinion, in this game. If he stays to form, it'll be a yellow card, and it is a yellow card. It should have been a black. Dennis is right. Should have been a black card. Black or red is the colour we should have seen there, but the referee, in his infinite wisdom, decides to give a yellow card. We won't question it in case we get the ball brought up 50 metres. So the ball goes out to George Sunderland under the stand. He looks to take on Barry Lambert because 2 and 3 show and goes. Barry doesn't fall for that. 2 lads around a long time. Conor Cleary comes out with the ball. High tackle there. The referee again, he's letting things go. Determined to see a free-flowing game of football. Little touch from Colin Morris. He still has it, still has the tricks. Colin will be hoping Liverpool win this weekend as well. He's a big Liverpool fan. They haven't won in a while. Anthony Masterson wins a free there now. Joe Coleman gets in his face and pulls him up. Joe Coleman wrestles him to the ground. The kind of stuff you'd see in the WWE. Vince McMahon would throw a big contract his way if he wanted to. Anthony and Joe exchanging words there. I don't think either of them are going to be on each other's Christmas card list after that. And a box is thrown there as well. Colin Malloy gets a box that time from Kevin Price. It's a bad-tempered affair here now the game has descended into. In fairness to Anthony, he's learning his lesson. He never retaliated. He never said anything to draw that tackle either, I'd say. Joe Coleman is being sent off. The two of them shake hands. The referee is calling Kevin Price in now as well. Was it a straight red, Dennis? Straight red. Did you see a straight red given out? Two yellows for Joe. This should be a straight red. So Joe has 2 yellows. He'll be available for the first round next year. And a yellow card for Kevin Price. Kevin Price is James Murray from St. Magdalene's Town. Anthony is getting his point across. He'd never do that. It's unlike him to speak to referees, really. He's not happy about something. St. Martin's only have 2 up. They only have 2 up. The Castletown Ultras having a word with Jamie Farrell there from Bunclody on this side. Joe Ahern is keeping a sharp eye on things. Comes second nature to him. He's a guard, and he's an expert guard at that as well. Knows every trick in the book. So the referee, Dennis, is asking what's going on. I don't know what's going on, and neither is the referee, but there seems to be a bit of the ball should have been brought up for a 50-metre free, but he gave a free inside the Castletown half. We see Cahill Byrne take him on. Castletown using their expertise in buying frees. Colin Morris now in acres of space gives it to Jimmy Fogarty, who drives through. Jimmy kicks the ball and kicks it wide. Some things never change.
What grade is this?
The grade is Junior B. We have coming up to 15 minutes gone in the second half. It's Castletown 3-3, which is 12 points in my book, and St. Martin's 5 points. So the bad temperedness now seems to have slightly gone out of the game. A substitute on the Castletown team. Sean Oak Stafford is coming off, and John Andrew Kinslet is coming on to the play. Met John Andy on the way in there. He was having a rigorous pre-match preparation. Clean eating, lots of water and everything like that. He's only on the way back from Roscommon this morning. He was telling me he was bringing a horse to Goffs for a sale, and he's a horse running the Curragh tomorrow. And he says, put a few bob on it, we might get lucky. Johnny doesn't get lucky winning the ball that time, but he goes into the fray, and it's gathered up by St. Martin's. St. Martin's being drove backwards. Evan Mullihan pushes hard and pushes in the back, but nothing there. St. Martin's coming out with the ball, and it is played, and still St. Martin's on the ball. Takes on 3 Castletown men and beats them. Ryan Murphy now looks up. Ryan looks to dummy it, and it goes inside here to Oisin Kavanagh. Oisin pulled down by Colin Morris. Free in there for St. Martin's. So Oisin Kavanagh is going to take the free and puts the ball over the bar. That puts 6 points in the game now with 15 minutes left. Castletown haven't scored in the second half. Haven't scored since midway through the first half. If they hold on to win here, it'd probably be a record for the longest the team has gone without scoring in a final. The game in the melting pot now. Six points in it, 15 minutes to go. Short kick out to Cahill Byrne. Daniel Roach driving forward. He's chased by Barry Lambert. Anthony Mastering on the ball. Anthony dodges the attempts and kicks to Jimmy Fogarty. Castletown surging bodies forward, and here now is Chris Callanan on the ball. Chris plays to Collie Malloy. Collie keeps control of the game. Cahill Byrne goes to take the ball and leaves behind him, and Barry Lambert now comes away, looks for the contact, gets the contact off both Collie and Cahill. Mark Maloney pops it and gets it back. Goes to down the stand side this time. Jimmy Fogarty chasing hard now after James Hegarty. Jimmy puts the hand in but doesn't get it. George Sunderland with a tackle. A shot taken there and the ball goes wide. Clouds are starting to come over the sun here now. Temperature has gone down. Dennis's lovely hat on him. The weather's slightly darker here now, but no sign of rain yet. Strong wind blowing from right to left. Dara Murphy kicks out, kicks to the stand side on top of Jimmy Fogarty. Jimmy gets up, goes to fetch the ball, but won on the break by Barry Lambert. Barry Lambert wins a free for St. Martin's. An accidental breach there from James Holmes. The referee says play on, doesn't look to punish anyone with that. St. Martin's on the ball here now. Kevin Price on the yellow card. James Hegarty looks to kick inside and it's gathered by Mark Maloney. Mark pops. Oh, a big hit there from Owen Dodd. Two big hits there. One truck, two truck and smash. Both men down on the ground. Cathal Byrne holding his head with a bit of an injury. He's come out the worst of that, but stood up well in the tackle. Evan Mullihan passes to Mark Halpin. Mark in the middle of the field in Wexford Park. Never thought he'd be here again, but here he is. Pops to Evan Mullihan. Evan looks to carry the ball. He's Jimmy Fogarty to his right. Jimmy looks up, looks for options. He beats the St. Martin's man. He's pulled. He's blowing up for steps there a bit harshly. The referee, Castletown now, could do with some legs in around the middle. They're still playing with a man down. Cathal Byrne is still not right. Mark Halpin goes in and wins the ball there and comes out. Anthony Mastron now looks up and kicks in. He has two expert sharpshooters ahead of him. Collie Malloy now is one of them on the ball. John Andy says to him, carry it. Collie slows up and stops. Never tell him a lie what to do. Colin Morris makes a ghosted run up into the back post. Frankie Cavan on the ball. Collie again gives it back out to Chris. Anthony Mastron coming to get onto the ball here. He looks up and he pings across to Jimmy Fogarty. Jimmy has loads of space now and loads of options. Can he just keep it simple? He does, and he gives to John Andy Kinsella. John Andy tackles and he wins a free in there. And a chance now for Castletown to put their first score on the board in the second half. We've 10 minutes left here. Dennis is rubbing the hands. He's cold. He's eyeing up the sandwiches. He's waiting for the tea. We see activity on the line for Castletown. But no change yet. The fourth official is looking for the board. Someone is looking for a slip. We've a definite change anyway. Cathal Byrne is going off on a temporary substitution. Conor Horn is into the play, the All-Ireland handballer, captain of the handball club in UCD, doing a lot of work with the handball in UCD this year, working very closely with Dublin manager and GA executive in UCD Ger Brennan to get the club back to winning ways. But James Holmes is on the ball. We're waiting on players to leave the pitch. He plays backwards to Jimmy Fogarty. Jimmy spills it. Comes back to James Holmes. Collie Malloy on the ball here now. Collie, you'd have to put him up there for man of the match nearly today, Dennis. He's covered every blade of grass in Wexford Park. The last dance, Collie was saying last night. Is this the last time we'll see any of these lads in a Castletown shirt? We said it about Collie Malloy last year, would be. He proved us all wrong. Chris Callanan with a late hit there, he's taken out of it. There's two Castletown men down. George Sunderland's injured as well. And a free one by James Holmes. Anthony wants to take the free. He's a good strike of the ball, in fairness to him, or he always did. Collie Malloy giving the thumbs up. Anthony checking the wind. Fairness, he was up till late last night studying the weather for today. He's an amateur meteorologist in his spare time. Very interested in surface weather maps and everything like that, and making weather predictions. Anthony Goes to strike from the ground. This is the third time he's checked the wind. Strikes off the ground. Strikes clean. Strikes it over the bar and fist pump up to the crowd. So 3-4 to 6 points. We have 8 minutes left. St. Martin's look to take the kick out now. St. Martin's down to 14 men after Joe Coleman sent off. Kicked out there, kicked to the stand side, and a free there to St. Martin's for pushing the back from Chris Callan, and Chris doesn't agree, but the referee says get on with it. Mark Maloney driving down the open side now, and it goes to the fullback Ryan Murphy, or the man wearing number 3 on his back. A very definite breach there from St. Martin's. They only had one man back. But Castletown win the ball back there. Linesman Jamie Farrell brought no attention to it. Conor Cleary comes out with the ball. Jimmy Fogarty on the ball now, and he looks to the far side. Colin Malloy coming like an absolute train up the middle. He's down, but he's not out. He gets up and he goes again. James Holmes pulled, harangued, no free given. Beats the St. Martin's man, heads into the corner. Gives ball back to Anthony Master, and Anthony looks to take on St. Martin's man. He's pulled back there, and Anthony wins a free in. And a strike on Anthony. A shut mouth catches no flies. Anthony seems to be getting a lot of attention today, whatever that's all about. He's a quiet fella, he'd never say a word. And there's a strike there. There's been another strike now. Another strike. Mark Maloney standing over Anthony Masterson. Mark Maloney's still going at Anthony. He's hit Anthony. The umpires have seen it. Discipline's been a real letdown here today. A yellow card. Yellow card. Joe Hearn is asking how that's a yellow. I'd have to agree with him. How is it a yellow? Strange decisions today, but Conor Horan has Conor Horan is staying on. He's not being called ashore yet. Chris Callan is taken off, and Cathal Byrne goes back in to finish the game out. Anthony elects to go out the hands this time. Checks the wind again. Hasn't changed since the last time he checked it, and checks it again. Still the same. Kicks out of the hands, kicks over the bar, and that turns into 3-5 to Castletown to 6 points to St. Martin's. Coming into the last 5 minutes here now. There's a chance of showers. We can see a couple of them there out over Clonard. They might dissipate by the time they get in here. St. Martin's with the kick out, long kick out up the middle. Colin Malloy and Cathal Byrne go against each other, but Colin Morris comes away with the ball. St. Martin's down to 13 men. Mark Maloney seems determined to get a second yellow, tackling with closed fists. But Anthony looks to go in. Anthony is blown up for steps, and there's another swipe taken at him. And I'd say this is Mark Maloney now has got a second yellow. That's the end of Mark Maloney. The referee sends him off. I think it's for the late hit there. There was a late hit on poor Anthony from Mark Maloney, yeah. So that's... It looks to be a free in to Castletown this time. So originally a free to St. Martin's, but the hit from Mark Maloney has turned it into a free into Castletown. Anthony checks the wind. Will he check again? He does check again. Absolutely loves the weather. Strikes off the ground this time. Strikes over the bar for his third point of the day. So 3-6 to Castletown, 6 points to St. Martin's, 9 points the margin. We are coming into the last 3.5 minutes here now. Kicked out. Cathal Byrne wins it and he's wrestled to the line, but the ball goes out for St. Martin's free. Short free there that time. Castletown with a 3-man numerical advantage now at this stage. St. Martin's only have 2 back. The referee's not blowing for it. Linesmans aren't interested in it. Jamie Farrell tries to explain it to Jamie Kavanagh. Jamie, unfortunately, missing today. Picked up a bad knee injury. St. Martin's with a free here now. On the 21. And it is the number 26. John Coleman. John Coleman takes the free. Puts the ball over the bar. 2.5 minutes left. Dennis is eagerly awaiting the second game here of St. Martin's against Ballyhogue. Short kick out that time to Mark Halpin. Goes inside to George Sunderland. George in no rush, Castletown in no rush. Anthony Masterson takes the contact, beats the contact, gives to Jimmy Fogarty. Conor Cleary comes up the middle. Mark Halpin calling for the ball. Mark gets the ball. Anthony is put down again. St. Martin's people below us not happy telling Anthony to get up. Frankie gives the ball. Conor Cleary's on it now. James Holmes, Collie Malloy. Can Collie get one more score? Comes back to Collie. Collie swings the left boot at it and it goes wide. Minute and a half left in the clock. A wide as good as the score at this stage. 8 points is the margin. Kick out this time and it comes to the open side and it goes out over the line. Frankie looks to take a quick one. He sees Jimmy Fogarty and gives it to Jimmy Fogarty. Jimmy gives it back into Anthony Masterson. Anthony on the ball, takes his time and spreads it to Colin Morris. We have a line there now of Robbie Brooks celebrating for the Castletown last man standing. Fulham are 1 up. Young supporters on the far side getting ready to storm the pitch here. Mark Halpin on the ball. Takes on St. Martin's man, beats him, gives it to Collie Malloy, gets it back. Mark takes a swing at it and it goes wide. Substitution for Castletown here now. James Kavanagh is coming on and James Holmes is the man to make way.
Additional time at least 4 minutes.
4 minutes additional time. The crowd is absolutely delighted to see another 4 minutes of action here. Kick out from St. Martin's. James Holmes receives a hero's welcome under the stand. St. Martin's win the break. His kick there intercepted by Anthony Masterson. Great hands. Used to play in goal for Wexford in case you didn't know. George Sunderland takes his time. Solos in place. Time stands still when George is on the ball. Mark Halpin looks up. Gives to Conor Horn. And looks for Anthony. Anthony on the ball now. St. Martin's no breach. Barry Lambert's chasing down Anthony. Anthony looks back. Checks. Comes back inside. Jimmy Fogarty looks for it. Goes back to Conor Horn. Anthony tells him to go forward. Conor drives forward. No better man to go forward. Cathal Byrne on the ball. Cathal, lucky done for steps. Gives the ball back. Anthony drops back in place there. Colin Morris now 1-on-1 with St. Martin's man. Colin, always hard to get by, a sticky defender. But St. Martin's man does get by him. St. Martin's take a kick and that's a score that time for number 12, Oisin Kavanagh. There's a breach there. The referee's not blowing it. Dara Murphy getting ready with the kick out. Coming up to 2 minutes left. Dara kicks the ball up the middle of the field. Jimmy Fogarty gets up to win the ball, but loses it. Colin Morris picks on the break, but it's pinched off him. The referee signals to the linesman. The linesman is calling the referee in. I'd say it's for a breach potentially. Yeah, and the ball's being brought in for a breach. So a bit of luck there for Castletown that time. They lost the ball, but win the free for the breach. Anthony Masterton looking for the ball. Joined the last couple of minutes here for co-commentary now with Dennis. Dennis, how do you think will this go down in history for Castletown? A Junior B title, the first one since 1999.
Yeah, but there's a lot of very experienced players out there. Look, Colin Morris, James, Anthony, and none more so than Colin Malloy, the legend. He lost a lot of weight for the championship this year. He got himself really fit. He should be really on the senior team. I know he's involved in selections and stuff like that, but I've never seen him, and he probably is my man of the match.
Yeah. Anthony takes the free. Anthony puts the free wide. An easy one to miss. Sarcastic jeers from the St. Martin's people. I don't think it matters at this stage. Castletown going to be worthy winners here, well on top today. Colin Malloy, Dennis Fitz's man of the match. I think Dennis is going to sponsor a trophy for him for that in the shape of a pint of Heineken later on. Maybe Budweiser if he's feeling generous. John Andy puts in a big hit, but the St. Martin's man rides the tackle well. We're coming up to the closing stages here now. St. Martin's on the ball. Castletown are going to win the Junior B title. First time since 1999. St. Martin's man takes a 2-point shot, drops short and drops wide. The referee blows the full-time whistle, and Castletown 2025 Junior B football champions. First time since 1999, and hopefully the first of the weekend. We'll see a few lads involved in the game tomorrow, but well done to Castletown, and thanks to Dennis. Dennis is now going off to do a big job for the afternoon, but thanks Dennis, and we'll talk to you later.